It was so beautiful.
Doing something different today?
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of the chair work today. We'll start in a couple minutes.
Chair yoga.
Well, it's not really chair Pilates. Mostly it's from gyrokinesis. I mix in some Pilates and some Franklin method. So just going to be doing a lot of movement for your spine. It'll be easier on your neck actually because you're vertical instead of going up and down from there. Hey there.
We used to do some of these things in the old days.
Yeah, right. Back in the meeting house.
Oh, I forgot about that. Whittier room. That's
the
right.
Whittier room, right?
Oh, that goes. Did you used to? Yeah, you used to go.
Yeah. I remember Paul used to always say, "Oh, John Whittier winked when he did something really difficult." I don't know,
John
but it was his little... Oh, there was a portrait in the room that's of John Whittier.
Oh, okay.
And who the room was named after. And since Paul was, you know,
he was the clerk.
He was the clerk for the meeting.
Right.
He knew all the history.
Yeah.
So, I think mainly it was like he was blacking out a little bit.
He still has that dog.
His little dog, the white dog?
Still has the dog.
Wow. Hey there. Yeah, you can bring one or there's still one left. Oh, that's your friend. Okay, good. There's one especially for you. Yeah. So we normally don't do this. We do it like maybe once a semester, I would say. In here, when there's chairs available easily in the room, someone's like, oh, let's try something different today. So this is going to be a combination of Pilates, of gyrokinesis, and of the Franklin method that I teach as well. But you want to start really sitting on the front edge of your mat, you know, of your pad here. And then we open the legs into a little bit of a narrow V. The angle of your knees should be the same as the angle of your feet. Oh, and that's Arut. I'm Cathy, and you're...
Oh, I'm Deborah.
Deborah, so nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. And so here we're going to lengthen up through your head, really feel the length of your spine. And then we're tipping the whole spine forward from your hip joints. So as you lean forward, the tail rises. You might feel the sits bones lift and spread. And then as you push down into your feet, you just lean back. So you're hinging here at your hips to go back. And as you go back, I feel the abdominal wall engagement. See if you can feel that. If you get a little light, but not so light, and then you come forward. If you do this on the stool, you don't want to fall over backwards onto the floor. So here we go forward, and we typically have more range going forward. And then you keep reaching out through your halo, out through the tail behind you, push down and away with the feet into the ground as you tip back. And you can feel how the hips open here, right, as you move the pelvic girdle around the legs, and then coming forward again. And one of the things I love to do is, as I'm here, I'm noticing like which muscles are engaging, which muscles are releasing as you go through different angles, different relationships to the floor and to gravity. The neck should be long here, front, back, and side, no matter where you are in the movement. And then as you come forward, if it get heavier, in fact, they'll spread and sink into the ground. And you lean forward here. Let's just do one more. Rotating the pelvis here around the femurs. The blades even start to slide away from your rib cage as you lean back and then come forward. We're moving through the center to go into a figure eight. So you're going to go forward and then let's swing out to your right. And then go around the sits bone. Come back. It is confusing when you're opposite with your image, right? And then come forward. And then we're swinging out to the left. Like you're top and you're spinning here on your tail. Forward again, push the floor behind you as you go forward, and then push it away from you as you wing out to your right. Circle back and around. See how you're doing like a semicircle around that sits bone, and then pull to the midline. Here's the center of the figure eight. And then going out and around. So you can picture the figure eight either being like the path that your weight takes around the sits bones, or you can also think about it being the pattern that you're drawing on the ceiling with light coming from the center of your head out through your halo into the space above you. And it's nice to feel both, so you're both grounded and lifted. And then we'll come center, and now we reverse. So we go back and to your left, around and forward. First we'll throw away, lean back, and then you circle out to your right. So this is excellent for releasing tension in the back. And because you're holding the hands on your legs, you also get a little bit of mobility of the rib cage underneath your shoulder blades. So it takes some of the tension out of your shoulders and neck just doing this. And you just go with your own breath. Helping inhale and exhale for each figure eight. Just complete the semicircle to complete the figure eight. Great. And then back to center. Feel any difference? A little looser, a little calmer maybe. And now we'll start having the legs just a bit apart. We're still in that sort of narrow V with the legs. And we're doing flexion extension of the spine. So as you pick up your toes, you'll pull the knees in, sink your waist back into a C-curve spine, sort of like rolling with a ball position. Elbows wide so the blades move away from each other, away from the spine. And then you push the knees open. The tail rises behind you, the chest lifts up, the eyes lift up, and now you're an extension of your spine. Exhale as you move into flexion. The knees wing in, and then the toes push down. You pull back with your waist. Your chest narrows as the back spreads. And then we open this again. And try to think here of the head staying above the pelvic floor the whole time. So it's not a lot of hip flexion to round forward. It's more that you're drawing a curve with your head over your hips, or your shoulders over your hips. And if the elbows go wide and forward, that's going to allow you to pull the ribs further back in between them, between the shoulder blades. And then let's open. Heart rises, tail lifts. Feel the stretch in your throat, the lift of your eyes, and then flex to go back into flexion. Breathing out here, and inhale to move into extension. Just one more here, exhaling first. Waist pulls back like someone's pulling you back with their arm around their waist. And inhale, you spill the belly forward. Heart rises, look up. And then come back to center. Open the knees a little wider. And here we're doing a seated spine stretch, like the Pilates exercise. So first, hands on the legs, chest lifts, eyes lift, stretch the front of your body, heart rises. And then bring your gaze down to look at the horizon. Look down, and then the head moves the neck moves the upper back, and you let your head fall to the space between your knees. Your arms are going to lower down and just drape on the ground. Back of the hands to the floor, and the body hanging here away from your hips. Look under your chair, and the shoulders can slide forward towards your ears. And then as we stay down here, just letting gravity pull the head towards the ground, moving the spine, your hands go to your knees one by one. Push down with your feet, curl the tail under, and stack your spine up on top of your tail. Rising here, and then the heart lifts, the eyes lift, arch your back, the blades fall behind you, narrowing into the tailbone. Exhale out of it. Inhale, look down your nose. Chin to chest, move the head to move the neck. Every vertebra flows one after the other, and then dive for the ground. Pull your waist back to get a bigger stretch around your sacrum, around your SI joints. Your head hangs low and feel the shoulders just relax, and let your body fall forward into gravity. Don't try to push away from the ground, try to fall in deep to it. And then hand slide up your shins to your knees, push down on the top of the leg, and then come up. There's a little bit of an automatic response that it wants to come up. It's not a lot of effort. And then we lift the elbows, pull in by your waist as you open the collarbones and look up at the sky. And then back down one more time. Exhale all the way over and down. Don't you need it? Okay. Come all the way down. Just breathe here. Take a couple of deep breaths. Inhale to feel lengthen your spine, head to tail. Exhale to let your body relax into gravity, sink towards the floor, opening the hips a little bit more. And now we'll walk our hands over to the right. So the right arm goes to the outside of the leg and the chest hangs to the inside on the armpit. Left hand can go on top of the right hand. And you'll reach back and down through your left sits bone, your left hip, let it hang heavy here. And just breathe as you fall to the inside of that right leg. So you want, of course, a diagonal lengthening across the back of your body. Right shoulder to left glute. And then walk your hands back to center. You should feel a lot lower than you were previously. And then we'll continue over to the left leg. You wrap the arm around the left leg, right hand goes on top, and your chest falls to the inside of the thigh. Try to really inhale for length and exhale to release, and just relax your body towards the ground. Be a little limp like a ragdoll here. But still think of reaching back and down with that right glute with the right sits bone bolted into the chair seat. And then slowly back to center. Under the chair, head hangs to the ground. And then hand by hand to the knees. Push down through your feet and your arms. As you come up, take your time. As you come up, you may want to go point to point with your eyes across the room and onto the horizon. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. Nice. We'll let the arms fall to the side, narrow the legs in a bit. And here, let's take your right arm down, bring the left hand up on the side of the ribs. So reach for the floor. And your gaze can turn to look at your fingers reaching for the ground here. And then we'll slowly pull up, hip to waist to ribs. You close the left side to open the right. And then we go over to the other side. So you turn your head to your shoulder, look down your arm at your fingertips, and reach for the ground, opening up your side ribs here. And still pressing down through the right hip, the right sits bone. So you feel that stretch in both directions. Press into the right leg, into the right sits bone, and come up slowly. Stack your spine. Coming out of the side bend from the bottom to the top, and we go over again to the right. You can spread your palms open into the ribs. So you can go above your waist into at least the base of the rib cage and feel the ribs open like a fan here. And then we'll flex the right wrist so the palm faces the floor. Slide the heel of the hand out across the floor in your mind and to the wall. And if you push the wall away, look over at your middle fingertip. So the hand will be just about the height of your eyes here. And now pull your left rib cage away from that. And then we lower the heel of the hand down. Follow it with your gaze. At the end, point your fingers to the floor. And now we come up slowly, lifting from the left side to pull the right side up. And we of course go to the other side. So you're going down low. Open the ribs into your palm. Flex the bottom hand, left hand. So you have a 90-degree angle towards the wrist. And then reach it out. Push the air aside, pushing the wall away from you. At the same time, pull back with the opposite rib cage and still reach forward to the heel of your hand. So the fingers then could be pointed up to the ceiling as much as possible. And then we're going to keep the flexion of the wrist, bring the heel of the hand down, fingers point to the floor, and then you come up, take your time. One more of these. We're opening up the ribs for breathing. Go down here low. Scoop the arm out and under the shoulder blade. Push the heel of the hand out. Reach in both directions. And then the heel of the hand moves down. Move slowly like you're in a dream. Fingers point to the floor. and then come up, take your time. And we do one last one to the left. So glad you're here. And we're just continuing with this. So we go down, look to the ground, flex through the wrist, scoop the arm out. You're scooping the air up at the top of your arm with the top of your hand. And then start to reverse. Reach for the ground here, point the fingers to the floor, and come up, take your time. And from here, we flex the right wrist, like you're holding something, a tray in your hand. And then you're going to reach the arm up. The arm will rotate automatically as the elbow straightens. The fingers reach up over your fingers. Spread the fingers, spread the palm, and look up at your middle finger here. And you're coming down slowly, your gaze still on the hand, the elbow wings in as you fold it. And then lower it down, take both hands to your legs. And we push the knees forward as you pull the waist back, the elbows go wide and the head looks down and in. You're looking towards your belly. And then we arch forward as you come forward and up, lift your left hand, flex at the wrist, bring it up into your biggest stretch. You're holding the sky up here, or you're just one of the columns holding the roof. And we slowly lower that down, lower the roof, prevent it from falling. And then you bring your hands back to your legs. The knees pull forward, the waist pulls back, opening the angle here at your hips. Get a little release here with that stretch. And then we rock forward, the tail rises up behind you, right arm goes up again. And as you lift up high, you'll feel that stretch from the heel of your hand all the way down into your lat, all the way down to your tailbone maybe. And we bring it down again, just exhale all the way down. And then we pull the waist back as you exhale. One more for the left. Coming up, you end up getting a little bit of extension, a little bit of rotation here in the spine. And we'll come back again nice and slow. Feel the weight of the air, feel the movement of the air around your arm as you move through it. And then again, pull the knees forward. The tail moves forward, so that the sits bones as you tuck. You reach back with your sacrum and waist. And then coming forward to sit up on your sits bones, flip the palms up. The knees can narrow in a little bit more. And this one I call fishbowl. So you imagine you're inside a very large glass bowl and you're sitting at the bottom of it. We're going to pull the arms out to the side and the fingers slide down along the glass, up the curved walls, and you look up, there's the opening. And you reach up with your eyes, with your heart, and then you push your fingers down along the inside of the glass, come all the way around and in, and then pull the waist back, looking down into your belly. And we do this again. So really working into the shoulder girdle, maybe in a way you don't normally do. Lift here, and then push the air aside. It's like you're swimming through the air instead of through water. But you want to feel that same texture of the air around you, like you might feel the water as you swim. And do this again, the gaze slowly rising at the height of your hands. Arch the back, tail lifts like a very happy dog, and then you push aside the air and you come back in, circling through, rounding your back, chin to chest, hang your head, feel the back of your neck stretch. Do this one more time. Out and up. You ride your own breath up, and then you also ride the exhale down. And from here, we'll bring the hands in prayer and sit up, right up on your sits bones. Look down at your hands, press them lightly into each other, feel the connection on the inside line of the arms, and then we let the hands go up, up, up into the sky. They flip open and then you push the air aside, coming down and in. You round your spine, look down. The tail lifts towards your head. And then we come up. As we lift the arms, we lift the gaze, we lift the tail behind us. And then explode the arms outward, stretch as far as you can. Fingers wide, really open up all these muscles, all the space in your arms and your hands. And we come up again. You also picture your hands lifting like fireworks and then exploding outward. Fragments of light fall gently, softly, slowly to the ground. Gather ourselves in, and we'll do it once more. The body arches, you're lifting your hands. Exhale, release, and then exhale, pull the waist back. Come back into your prayer hands. Say a little prayer for someone who needs it. And then here the hands can rest. Okay. We're going to be picking up, so really probably sit pretty close to the edge here. Don't fall off that. That would ruin the feeling, right? So we'll pick up your left sits bone and tip your left ear to your left shoulder. You should be able, well, this on a cushion seat, it's a little hard, but if you're on like a hard seat, you would be able to slide your fingers under the glute right there. And then we come on back to center. And then we do the other side. So we pick up the hip. So that you keep the foot on the ground, but the heel lifts, the knee lifts, but that way you don't have to pick up the whole leg. And then we go to the other side again. So come over here. We're getting a nice little side bend stretch in the neck, which is something that rarely happens in our normal life. Come back. And I've always called this one in my mind Chanel because you're doing the double C shape with your body. The only Chanel I'll ever say, right? Bring it down. And to the other side. And back, and one more hip. Good. And one side. Notice where you feel the stretch. Maybe here as you tip to one side, drop the opposite shoulder down a little bit, like make the elbow heavy. That should increase the stretch gently, and then come up to the other side. And back to center. Then we're going to move over to the left so that your right glute is on your chair, don't fall, and the left one is off. And then here, we're just beginning, we're going to lower the hip down and tip the head away. And then you can press through that left foot to come back up and slightly press the right arm to lift. So you're back, imagine you're sitting on two chairs, one under each glute. And then we're going down again, tip the head over. So look across the room, your eyes are on the tilt, your head's on the tilt. And then pull it up. And you can feel you're really elongating the space here between rib cage and hip bone. Over again. And press through the ground to rise up. And one more time like that. And this could be as small of a movement, as large of a movement as you want. Of course, you can always opt out of anything. And just breathe and move how you feel like you should. And then we come up. Now we're adding the arm. So the left arm down your side. As you bring your hip down, you bring the arm up and over. So now we're opening up the side ribs here as well. So the stretch from your fingertips, armpit, waist, hip to the ground. And then we come all the way up. The arm descends. And again, take it over, stretch. And then breathe out as you rest. Let's do two more of these. Scooping the air. If your shoulders are a little stiff, it might feel better to have the hands slightly in front of your face, a little bit more forward. Just only do movements that feel good in your body. You can modify the range of motion or skip them. You know, it's not really working, but everyone here looks good. And then we come up. And then we're coming back to center. And take a moment, ground your feet, see if you feel the kind of difference you feel on the two sides of your body. Yes? Yes. Okay. So of course you have to do the other side. Now when you do this on your own, if you decide to do it on your own, You may know your tight side and do like left, right, left, or vice versa. Or you might just do more on one side than the other, so you end up sort of balancing out any asymmetries you have. So here we go, down on the right hip. The head tips away. Your hand holds the outside edge of the chair seat. And then we come on up at the hip and push through your left hand so your body lengthens. And then we go down again. As your head goes to the left, the right shoulder can drop, the right elbow can be held. And then pull it up here. And let's do this again. We're comfortable to rest your body, right? And lift full up here. And just one more like this. Maybe even think bring your head back in line with your shoulders. Really want to feel that your head's not falling forward here. You want to feel the sideline right in the side of the neck. And then coming up, we next add the arm. So the right arm goes up as you drop the right hip, and you lean, you tip, you side bend to your left. Push to the floor, coming up, and the arm descends. Beautiful. And scoop again. Stretch that waistline here on the right side. Come up. And a nice way to think about this is the muscle fibers on the right are elongating and stretching away from each other, and the ones on the left are sliding in between each other. And back up like two cones coming together and then pulling in. Let's do one more here. Take it over, draw the hip down, and then come all the way up. And the arm comes down, and now we come back to center. To sit. It's great. From here, maybe just wiggle a little bit how you want it, without me telling you what to do. There's too much of that in our lives, right? Okay. And from here, we're doing a little rotation. So we'll rotate to your left, so bring your right hand to the left leg. The left hand moves behind you onto the chair seat. You twist them in back. And at this point, we're going to pulse 4 times. So you reach around 1 and release, 2 and release, 3, and then 4. And then unwind your body, go to the other side. So left hand to the right, like right hand behind you. And we pulse 1, 2, 3, and 4, and release, and again. So as you go around, your gaze should look down in a soft curve. That will help the spine, including the neck, part of the spine, start to find more rotation, more reach, and then more release. And here we go to the other side. Listen to your right. You pull with one arm, you push with the other. You can picture your right rib cage coming around and in towards your spine, and the left rib cage coming around and into the sternum. And release here. And then just roll your shoulders. Okay. We're doing a piriformis stretch here. So you can extend your left leg forward into the aisle, pull the right knee up into your chest, give it a little hug. You lower the knee, and then we rotate the leg externally to bring the edge of the foot onto the other thigh. Now, this might work for you. You want to stay vertical here as much as you can. If you know you have more openness in your hip, you can bring the foot back. I can do it on this side, but not so much on the other side. And just be sure that your knee feels comfortable wherever you choose to go. And from there, and you still can choose to have it open. Just see what feels better. Like maybe you can pull the foot in closer if it's a little lower. Just see what works for your body right now. So we're coming upright, and you want to put a little extra weight in the left sits bone because we tend to want to drop the knee and pick up the sits bone. This is the problem I always had with the yoga stretch for the piriformis on the mat, because I would tilt to the side because I knew I was tight and I wanted to look like I was more open or feel like I was doing better than I was, right? But here, since you have the chair, you can really be sort of honest with yourself. It's like, okay, both sits bones are grounded. So now you come upright, up to the head, down through both sits bones, and then we're hinging here at the hip. So the tailbone lifts up behind you, the sits bones do too. And as the pelvic girdle tips forward, you're leaning forward. You can take your forearm of the right arm across the diagonal. So I'm not going to push into the knee itself, but I'm going to come on the long bones here of the leg, push down, and then come as far forward as I can until you feel a good stretch for your body, right? Not anyone else's, and see where you go. So you don't really want to be rounding the low back. So yes, so you want to try to pull forward and out with the chest and get the pelvis to rotate on your legs. And this is easier than it is on the floor because you're sitting. To take some of the hamstring tightness out of the equation on this. Everyone feel it? And now from here, leaning forward still, we rock the knees slowly from one side to the other.
We're feeling it in our right hip.
Yes. Okay. Across the glute into the outer upper thigh. Yep. So, where you're feeling it?
I'm feeling it here.
Yeah, that's perfect. And if you're not, maybe it's because you're used to sitting this way all the time, you know, with legs. But you could go lower and probably feel it, right? Yes. And it's not just the chest going forward and the head reaching forward, it's also the tail going up and back. So you've got to get that rotation of the pelvic girdle here. Yeah, it was, maybe this was the one that the last time didn't work so well for you. Is that you? Maybe. So in each case, like he's back on it. Yeah, if you feel like you should. And then we're coming on upright. And then you want to watch that you don't torque out the knee. So you can release the foot and then you rotate the thigh to bring the knee back to center and then lower the foot down. And then just take a moment, see if you feel a little looser in this part of your low back. Okay, and then we're doing the other side. And as promised, you'll see that this side is tighter on me. So we can extend the right leg, pull the left knee up and in, just give it a little hug here. And then we rotate from the hip socket deep into the crease. Bring the leg over. Flex the foot a little bit. And then sit up tall. Try to have equal weight on your two sits bones. And then we hinge forward with the sits bones and the tail up behind you, come forward here. And again, if you want, you can bend your standing leg to get the knee down lower.
And then put your right arm on your thigh.
So the left one goes across the bend there, and you push that down a little bit, and maybe think of externally rotating the left leg, the upper leg. And we can also do that gentle rocking from side to side here. Everyone feeling a stretch that they want? You're not?
No.
Let me just say if you've rounded your back. Like I almost think that for you should have like a little bit more of that. Right? See how the pelvis is going back at the low part? So you're not rounding, so it's fine. Do I feel it? Okay, you can lower your face down a little bit. You can see it. Okay, that's it. Excuse me, as I would rotate like this. And I would bring yourself a little more over center.
Oh, now
and push down through here.
You have to do something.
Okay, so do you sit cross-legged on the ground a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably it. You're just like super flexible there. Some of us are lucky with that, and some of us are not.
Wow, look at that.
I know, right? So there's people who have just more flexibility in their joints than others, right? Is it okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You do hard? It's also, you know, sometimes people don't realize, like, you want to flex here, right? So, like, right into the crease. This is where the flexion should come from, right? So, like that. See? This. Instead of rounding like that.
Yeah.
Right. And there's difference. In some exercises, that's what we want. We want to get the curvature into that low back to sort of open this area here by the sacrum. And this one in particular to get that opening at the hip, and also the release here through the lateral, like piriformis into like the medius area, the TFL. You really, I feel like it's more beneficial to really like rotate the pelvis here on the femurs, really lean forward, lift the tail up, and think about that kind of positioning of your spine instead of the flexion of this, right? You want to do that. And really like the butt's moving back and out behind you as you lean forward, like so. Can you feel that? Because you can actually sort of feel that the pelvis rotates here on the top of the femur. Okay, so good. Hopefully you got what you needed. Great. And if you didn't need it, you didn't particularly need it, thank you for being with us while we explored it. All right, so let's see. Okay, so here, we're going to pull the right knee into your chest and hug it in. So here the spine is rounded, your head is down. It's almost like you're doing half of a child's pose. You can let the shoulders fall and maybe drop your arms lower on the shin. And pull the leg in as tight as you can, maybe think heel to the sits bone. Head hangs down so the knee eventually would be up by your cheekbone on the right side. And then we'll lower that foot down with both feet grounded with hands to the right above the knees. We arch, we lift the chest, we lift the tail. Again, we're moving the pelvic girdle on the femurs to take tension out of this low back and loosen up the hip joint. And then we'll pull back with the waist and pull the left leg in this time. So pull the leg in, embrace it in, shoulders fall, head drops down. Look down your midline towards the navel. And then go ahead and lower that foot. Equal weight in your feet and your hips, and you lift up. And then we pull back again. So this is a sort of a seated cat-cow on one side. So head hangs. Elbows are heavy, so the shoulders are not hunched up by your ears. Let them melt behind you. And then lower the foot. And arch. Chest up, tail up, eyes up. A little stretch in your throat without crunching the back of your neck. So find what works. Push the floor away as you pull the waist back and pull the left leg in here. Knee towards the cheekbone. Your gaze is still down, so you're still in alignment. Nose, center of the chin, navel, and lower. Now we're going to add a little leg extension to this. So we start walking the waist back. You tip behind your sits bones. You pull the right leg in. And then we'll take your left hand to the outside of the right foot and the right hand down on the chair seat. And lean back a little bit and extend the leg up. Yeah. So you just are trying, the knee can be bent however much you need it to be. We're looking for the stretch in the belly of the hamstring. Don't overstrain the back of the knee. Like we all know this. And then we fold the knee in, watch your alignment. Embrace it in one more time. Hang your head down, shoulders melt behind you. And then lower the leg and we arch the whole body. You can even think of like pushing the knees back a little bit to sort of drive the femurs into the pelvic girdle. And that'll help you find a little bit more arch in the back too. And then push the floor away with your feet. Pull your waist back, pull the left knee in. Head hangs low to the inside of the knee. Shoulders melt behind your body. And now right hand to left foot. And left hand to the side of the chair. And we rock back. This is our rocket moment. I think so. They survived 2020. Yep. And then let the head fall. And then take that down and arch. And then pull back with your waist, look down, pick up the right leg. We're doing another set of this because who doesn't need a hamstring stretch? Yeah. Left hand to right foot, right hand to the side. Extend the leg up. You get more stretch in the calf if you pull up and forward with the heel. And then you point the stretch back the knee, embrace the leg in, head hangs down, and lower the leg, and then we arch again. We rock back behind the sits bones, we pull the waist back and pull the left leg in now. Opposite hand, right hand to left foot. Kick up the leg. You feel you get a little bit of a diagonal stretch, like through the shoulder, into the armpit, into the upper back. But sometimes we can't feel that because we're so focused on the stretch in the hamstring, right? Whatever we need most sort of calls our name. And then you look down. And lower the leg and arch. We're going to add now rotation through the upper body. So we start as we did. Pull back with the waist, pull the right knee in. Left hand to the outside of the foot, the right arm reaches behind you, and you open your chest to the right and look back at your right hand. And then slowly unwind, pull the knee in as you're wrapping your body forward. Tuck the leg into your body. And then release it down and arch your whole spine here. We'll pull back with the waist. Left leg comes in. Right hand to left foot, left arm now is free. Reach it back, point back. And every once in a while, you get this little creaks in the knee, reminding you should do this more often. And pull back. Take it in. Lower the foot arch. One from the side. Pull back. Right knee comes in here. Hand to foot, other hand reaches back. Look at your hand. Use your arms to give you a little bit more rotation through your waist and your ribs. Come all the way back. Look down. Head hangs low. Release. Arch the spine. We'll pull it back. Embrace this in. Hand to foot. Left arm reaches back with the left leg reaches forward. And then come all the way back. Head hangs low, shoulders melt. And then lower and arch. Come back to center, just breathe. So here, let's do a little shoulder and neck release. Okay? So we're going to start tipping your left ear to your left shoulder. And then you drop the right arm down and let it hang. You need to do a slight little rocking of the arm back and forth to feel the pull into your neck muscle, into the neck muscles that attach to the collarbone, and also the neck muscles that attach to the scapula. And now let that right arm be quiet. Keeping the tilt of your head, you're going to rotate your gaze to look down at your left shoulder. And notice what that did to the stretch. Right? Now we're going to try to just breathe in, and on the exhale, let the right shoulder drop, the right hand reach for the ground a little further. The last part of this stretch is we're going to tuck the chin in towards the base of the foot. And again, don't overstretch. You may feel that tug in the muscle we're stretching, the sternocleidomastoid mastoid attaches up to this little bump here behind the ear, the mastoid. Process there. And then you want to slowly come out of this by lifting the chin and slowly unwinding the neck. Okay, and both hands on your legs. See, can you feel that you're a little light on that side of your head and your neck? Yes. A little more space. Maybe, maybe not. We we all experience things differently. So then here we go to the other side. So right here to your right shoulder. And let the left arm hang at your side, counterweight. And then that arm swings slowly forward and back. The arm is quiet. And then we'll rotate the gaze to the shoulder. And the other hand still reaches for the ground. Breathe into the stretch you feel now. And for the last bit, we tuck our chin in towards the base of your throat, towards the top of the sternum. And let both shoulders be heavy, melt down your back towards the tailbone. And then we bring the gaze up, unwind, and the hands rest on your legs. Good. Roll the shoulders. Take them up and down. And then we're coming up to standing. Cool. So from here, we're going to be doing some calf stretching. So you'll take your hands to the chair seat. Sure you have a little bit of space here. And again, you're trying to lift the tail up, elongate the waist, and then we'll slide the right foot back and roll the heel down onto the ground. If you don't get a stretch at all in the calf, we go back a little further. If the heel doesn't touch, bring it in a little more forward. And then if you want, you can also move your left foot and left knee forward, and then bend that knee. See if you can keep the right heel down as you lunge forward here with that left knee. And doing for the stretch. Adjust it so it feels like the right amount of stretch for you. If it's too much for your wrist, you can also go down onto your elbows. But keep lifting the tail and sit them up, your choice. And now we're just going to swing the hips slightly from side to side. Wag your tail like your favorite dog. And feel how the stretch on your calf moves from lateral to medial and back again. And then we come back to center. And we're staying in this position, but slightly bending the right knee and straightening the right leg while keeping the heel grounded. So this will help you increase flexion at the ankle, but also you can feel how the stretch in the calf goes up and down the calf. So it goes from the soleus, which is lower, to the gastrocnemius, which is higher. Feel that? And if one of them is tighter than the other, you might just stay in that position and breathe into it. Okay. And then we'll switch to the legs. So you can bring one back, one forward. And really just be sure that that back heel is grounded and that you like the stretch you feel with your calves. Lift your tail, lift and spread your sit bones wide here so you have good hip flexion. And you pull your chest and hip forward to elongate the waist. Now we rock from side to side. And then be quiet here. And then we bend and straighten the back knee, the left knee. A little bit more stretch, right? You can bring either that heel back or the other knee forward and much further forward with your body. Because the two sides are often a little different, or quite different as the case may be. And then we'll bring that foot forward and sink the tail, let the arms hang and stack your spine bottom to top. Coming into a roll up, standing up. From here, we're going to do a little bit of the standing swan. So we've been practicing it in the Pilates class with the hands to the belly, sliding the hands up, lifting up the hips, lifting up the chest, and then when the shoulder blades backing down, let the elbows fall back and towards your tailbone. And then exhale, release out of it slowly. We also have the option of just pushing down with the hands into the top of the chair. So as you push down, you can lift your chest, feel the belly stretch without pushing the belly forward. We're going to come up at the heart, look up towards the ceiling, and let your blades fall behind you, elbows coming close to your waist. And maybe hang your head back only as much as you're comfortable, varies with neck issues, right? And then you can release out like you're zipping your belly up from the bottom to the top. And this is nice to remember. You can do a swan like this standing. So for example, when you're in your kitchen at the countertop, if you are through your living room and you walk back by a high back chair, you can always take a moment, push down, and feel how that, with the push of your arms down, feel how it wants to engage the back line and let the front line lengthen. And it's important just not to pull the belly forward and really not trying to increase the arch in the middle of the back. We're trying to increase the arch in the thoracic spine where the ribs are. We go up, 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 and then waterfall backwards from the top, and then exhale, release out. Zip up from the pubic bone to the navel, up through the ribs, until your gaze is back on the horizon. And one more. We're going to press down, and up through the front line of the body, the chest rises, the gaze lifts. The lift of your chin will lift the chest, and you should feel that it's actually like a ligament that goes from your heart to the navel. There's a connection with the lift here. You're actually pulling up the pelvic floor a little bit too. And then we can release on out of that slowly. And then just turn. Let's look at each other, see how lifted and elongated everybody looks. Yeah. Do you feel taller? And does it feel easy to stand? Like you don't have to think about it. You're just there. That's great. I think I actually want to do a couple of exercises here on the floor. So if you would just go grab a mat. Here a bit of cushioning maybe to that. Push these chairs aside. So we're going to start sitting here with like a butterfly leg position. Right. Yep. And this is actually called fully covered. So where we'll go is we're just going to take the left knee in your hand, rock over to your right, and then pull the left knee on top of the right one. And then you'll pick up the left knee with your left hand, roll across your sits bones, pull the left knee down, and the right hand pulls the right leg on top of that. And then we open the knee again, working from one side to the other. And over like so. If you feel like you don't have enough padding, you can always fold your mat like in half here. So you have a little bit more under your sits bones. That can be a little tender if you don't have a lot of padding yet. We just go from side to side. And so we're back where we started. Right. And now from here, we're going to move the legs back a little bit. You'll be supported on your side hip And we're going to have the feet either stacked or the top foot a little bit in front. And now we're going to round your spine and try to pull the knee towards the forehead. So we're going to pull in, chin to chest, bring the knee in. And then this is the part that's hilarious because you bring your hand towards your foot or still on the chin, and you push the knee back behind you. Get this, the sort of the edge or the side of the knee into the ground, and then look up and back over your standing arm. And the goal is eventually to be able to pull this quad so long and open up your psoas, your flexor, that you can see your toes behind you. I know, right? I knew you'd think it was hilarious. I did too. So I got to the point when I really practiced this on a regular basis that I could see this foot. Never did get to see the other one. And then I got distracted and started doing other exercises and forgot about this one. So hooray for us. You know, I rediscovered it. So let's pull the knee into your forehead, round your back, curve it. And then we take the leg back, arch the spine. So you're pulling the blades together behind you. You're arching and trying to get that rotation through your neck. Maybe you feel the quad stretch. Yeah, you can rest the knee on the ground a little bit, so you have something to pull against. Yeah, so your knee can be actually on the floor a bit. And then as you pull the heel towards your butt, you feel more stretch in the quad, right? So grateful for this. Of course, you want to be careful if you have a knee issue when you're pulling it this hard. One more time, pull it in, round your back. For this flexion extension to the spine, we've been doing this all this hour. So now we're really good at it. And it helps if you try to push the knee as far back as you can, and then push forward with your butt a little bit. Use your glutes to get the hip opening. With back reach, I can almost see it. How about you? And then let's pull this back. Round your back one more time. And guess what? We do the other side. So here we go. Yeah. Are you feel that the quads feel different right to left now? Yes, for sure. Okay. So here we go. We're pulling in the top knee. We suck the waist back. Forehead to knee as close as you can get. And then we arch the back. Get the knee or a little bit above it onto the ground. This also can give you, if you hold on to like the part of the foot closest to the toes, right? You get a little bit more stretch across the top of the foot and the ankle. A lot of people are tight there because they don't really do a lot of stretch through the ankle. And then let's pull the knee in. So after doing a big extension, we want to do flexion. And then we push that behind again. You can try to push the mat away to give you a little bit more rotation. So I'm pushing with my hand like down and diagonally forward and up. So I can try to go back a little further with my chest and with my eyes. And release. Find the rounding of your spine. Two more, we're almost there. Big heel to the butt. Push the glutes forward. Open up that hip. Most of us do more sitting than we want to or should. And our hips suffer for that. Okay, bring it back. One more pulling it tight. And one more lengthening it out behind you. And then stop. Excellent. We're coming up to standing. We're going to end with wall. So you don't actually need a wall for this. But traditionally, it's taught with your back against the wall and your feet forward about 8 inches or so. But we'll just start standing. Feet apart, maybe 4 inches apart here. And we lift the arms up to the sky, take a little upper back extension. And then circle the arms forward as you come back to neutral. The arms come down at your side and the palms go back. Arms reach up. Upper back extension and circle wide around and down. Again, feel the air like you're swimming through water, coming up. And exhale around and down. We're going to reverse it. Palms forward, circle out and lift. And then exhale. Push the arms down slowly. Come down. It's a nice image. Think of yourself like a conductor. You're pulling the sound, the crescendo out of the orchestra, and then you're going to quiet them down. And we do that again. The eyes can lift with the arms, with the hands, and also lower as the hands lower down. One more. Just feel all this lovely work, the stretch across your chest, the work into the blades, they move across your back. Exhale and down. And then kind of just roll everything out, shake it out. And stand again. Standing roll down. Look down your nose, chin tucks in towards your throat. Bring your back of your head forward and down so you move the head and then the neck away from the shoulders. As you start to go down, the arms are going to just fall directly under your shoulder blades. Come down to bring the hands somewhere above the ankles, below the knees, and dangle. You bend your knees if it's too tight in your back, or even if you just want a little more release. And then the arms circle here. Small circles the size of an orange, go around and around. Easy movement here as if your arms were pinned to your shoulders with a silk thread. And then let the arms be still and reverse. We're staying here while we breathe, and while we do this, to give the connective tissue, your fascia, a chance to lengthen and release. And you might notice this as you're here, you just naturally drift a little closer and closer to the ground. And then we're going to let the arms be still, be quiet. Bend your knees, spread your feet, push the floor down, and you sink your tail down to the ground like a kangaroo. You want to rest on that tail. And your chin is down. You look at the floor for as long as possible as you stack your body up. When you're vertical, your gaze goes across the floor and to the wall, out to the horizon. And we'll take a deep breath in. And exhale it slowly. We're done for today. Thank you so much for being here.